So what's up, everybody? It's your boy Buccaneer Blake coming at you with some updates and stuff I want to talk about. You know me, like to give everything raw and straight from thought, no editing, no chopping it up, make it seem pretty. I just want to talk to you as if I'm talking to you for real, like if we're standing in front of each other. Kind of are, we're just on a computer. The first thing I want to talk about is an article posted by Mike Florio on Jameis Winston, putting a post saying, Bucks fans, don't panic. Now, Winston went on to say, fans, please don't panic about one half of football, and encourages fans to come out to the preseason opener, which is this Monday, and I think the next game is Saturday. Now, if you're a Bucks fan, a real Bucks fan, and you're panicking about a half of football where more than a half amount of players played in that half of football, then you really aren't a fan, or you really don't know much about football. Tom Brady looked bad. Does that mean the Patriots aren't going to do anything? It's preseason. Nobody cares because the games don't matter. But needs to say he does need to play a little better. But is it something to be worried about? No. What else I wanted to get into was I said Quan Alexander. Now Quan Alexander, when we drafted him in the fourth round this draft, I was a bit concerned. We drafted another linebacker, but on the other hand, I wasn't. I don't know. It's just players I personally like. Um, I don't know if what I like is what exactly fits the team at the moment, but I'm fine as long as we have a plan for it. That's always been my saying. Um, Quan Alexander, I did some research. When he came out of high school, he was the third top-rated outside linebacker in the country. He had a choice between Alabama and LSU. Of course, we know this story because his school is under his name and his profile. He chose LSU. Played good games against Alabama. I watched that tape, the 2014 tape. If you're bored and you had nothing to do, look it up. Look at Alexander play against Alabama. He makes some pretty explosive plays. He's pretty fast. Kind of like Levante David in Nebraska. A guy people overlook, undersized, made a lot of tackles. Hopefully it'll turn out the same. He got the starting job over one of my players I like, Bruce Carter. But best players will play. If he beat out Bruce Carter in starting middle linebacker job, then so be it. Even though we paid Bruce Carter a little bit of money, but it's business. Nothing personal. Oh, I want to talk about, I think I talked about last time, was Damar Dobson's injury. Like I said, I hope it doesn't go into the season. I hope it's something that he can overcome soon. If not, we picked up, I don't know, pronounce his name, Cyrilus. He was with the Colts, played right tackle with them for years. Uh, Gave him a 2-year, $7 million deal, according to the Bleacher Report. Now, hopefully it works out. I mean, if Donovan Smith, they don't want to play him right away, we could start him at left tackle and start Damar at right tackle. I honestly don't care who starts where, as long as the job is getting done. I'm not going to really get into all the details of we need to start all our rookies or we need to do all that. I just care about what guys get the job done. That's what matters. But I wish the best of luck to him, and it gives us more depth on our offensive line. Hopefully, he can play some other positions, but I think mainly his spot is tackle. We need to work on our guards, and we need a backup center because who was that? Garrett Gilkley, who was allegedly supposed to be having this awesome off season. Didn't look too good playing center. A couple of bad snaps. And of course, the quarterback takes the fall. They always do. But hopefully he turns this thing around and he steps his stuff up. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, Doug Martin. That's kind of I met Doug Martin in person. Pretty nice guy. He's very short. You would think he was like 228 at the time I met him. Real stocky guy. Kind of reminds me of Ray Rice. This 208, man, you can tell he's really slimmed down, lost a lot of muscle. I hope it pays off. Um, but when you're looking in the game, he was averaging 5 yards a carry. That's what a bunch of guys we put in the game. I think it was Ali Marpet and Damar Dotson on that right side that was opening up holes. I hope that's a common thing if Ali Marpet starts. But yeah, I'm all down for what works. You have to protect your quarterback, or you might as well not even drafted one. Josh McCown might as well stay here. And speaking of Josh McCown, he went 5 for 5 in a touchdown in the Browns game with worse receivers. Just saying. I never wanted to see him leave. We had a really bad offensive line last year. It wouldn't have mattered if you had Jameis Mariota. With that line, it wouldn't have mattered. But as I stated before, it's preseason. If he starts, he might not do that. For the record, I'm a football fan before I'm a Buck fan. So I like football. I like watching people play. I like watching individual players. I like the game in its entirety. But I am a Buccaneer fan. And I was rooting for the Browns until they got rid of Brian Hoyer for Johnny Manziel. If you really believed Johnny Manziel was going to come from Texas A&M, running around in circles, throwing it up in the air, and hopefully a receiver comes down with it, then you really don't know anything about football. You just want to watch the quarterback run, they might as well have picked up Michael Vick. Who else does it better than the Vick? He runs from dogs, or he fights them. Can't remember anymore. But yeah, Johnny Manziel isn't going to work. And then here comes the Tim Tebow story. We're starting this all over again. The great white hype. Don't get me wrong, Tim Tebow was the man at Florida. He played a couple good games in the NFL against the Steelers and a couple of comeback rallies in the season. It was a good story. It really was. As a long-term quarterback, a starting quarterback in the NFL, you might as well make Mark Sanchez a starting quarterback because he won the 2 back-to-back AFC championship games. No, me neither. I don't think both should be. Either one should be a starter. But that's just me. What else did I want to get into? Oh, Akeem Spence in this 1-game suspension for pot. Now, I know you're probably listening and saying, no, he's going to say you shouldn't get suspended for smoking weed. Weed is not as bad as everybody says. I ain't going to say that. You got caught with pot, you get suspended. You knew the rules, you get suspended. What I am going to say is, why is everybody here when they get caught for smoking weed? Didn't y'all hear? Y'all should give a one of those tapes you give when you give new hires and at the job, but a training video. A training video. You know who should be on that training video giving the word of the day? Y'all know him as Jeremy Stevens. Gets busted in his Range Rover selling weed out of his car in Tampa, Florida. That's who should be giving the seminar on the video. Because who else does it better than this dumbass? You get kicked out of the NFL for weed. I hope you have money saved, because you was the man when you was with Seattle and you played in the Super Bowl. You didn't win the Super Bowl, but hey, at least you played in it. That's more than some. What else I wanted to get into was I was happy that we only had one injury. Yeah, we only had one injury in that preseason game, and it was Damar Dotson. I mean, as I stated before, Winston threw that pick when he was throwing to Mike Evans. And I'm kind of glad he didn't catch it because Mike Evans might have got hit that play. I want to see Evans play. Him catching no passes in preseason won't bother me. That means he's not getting hurt, or at least getting hurt by contact of getting hit. But I know they need the reps. They need to play against other people. I get all that aspect of it, but it doesn't bother me. Um, as far as Buccaneer news, that's it. I don't know what's going to really happen with this Tom Brady thing. I don't. I try to be a man of morals. People say, "Oh, you would feel differently if it was the Buccaneers." No, no, I wouldn't. If they broke a rule and they knew they broke the rule and they got caught breaking the rule, I wouldn't stand up and say, "Oh, it's wrong," just because it's my team. And I mess with Patriots fans. I'm not really angry at them. It's their team. But I had a guy say, "Oh, everybody cheats. Everybody does stuff like that and gets away with it." Okay, if that's what you really believe. So the next time you get cheated out of something in life, I want you to say that same exact line. Say it just like you said it to me. Why that guy runs off with your car, or runs off with your credit card, or maybe fucks your wife. Say it happens to everybody, and don't get mad. Be a man of morals, whether it's your team or whatever it is. Stand up for what you know is right and what is wrong, and stand up by it. You know, I should make bullet points. I was talking to my friend Dan about that on my first video. I was kind of pausing and didn't know what to go over next. Like I said, this is new to me. It's my second video. And for some reason, I concentrate better when it's late at night. What is it, 2:21 at night now? Or in the morning that I'm talking about the Buccaneers and on a video. Oh, I know you like my little pirate flags in the back. You see the old school, new school. I got a couple other stuff. I'll show you that some other time. Some stuff signed by Ronnie Barber and Derek Brooks and things of that nature. I don't have anything from Sap. I'll maybe have a prostitute sign something for me. He can beat him, but I don't have anything of him. I like Sap as a person. I don't know. He's kind of an ass, but as an athlete, I love him. Again, I stand for my morals. As an athlete, I loved him. As a person, I can't vouch for him. Oh, should be playing quarterback. Um, Terrell Pryor should probably be trying for a quarterback for the Browns. If you're willing to take chances on Johnny Manziel and letting a guy that's done nothing but win for your team since he's got there, Brian Hoyer I'm talking about here, this one's for you, Steven. If you watch this, I'm going to talk about your Browns. You know how I feel about them. I already talked about them. I'm going to talk about it again. You let a guy that trained under Tom Brady for years have a winning percentage for the Browns from being a starter. As a matter of fact, the year prior, before 2014 season, remember the Browns were undefeated? And then Brian Hoyer went down on a cheap shot leg injury. And they had every quarterback in the league try out for the Browns. And he also put on Jordan Cameron, or Cameron Jordan, no, Jordan Cameron, the tight end. You let him go. And not only let him go, you try to do him dirty. You're sending text messages down to the field about him. And I respect Brian for saying that. He said, "I don't have an opinion on leaving the Browns until the investigation is over." If the investigation holds true, and they were doing these things, inhibiting me of playing quarterback for the Browns, I want to leave. It was true, and he left. Went to Houston. I wish the best. I hope you see this, and I say, I'm pulling for you. I was rooting for you when he was with the Browns. I wanted to see an underdog story. I wanted to see a guy that was a backup his basically his whole career and do something, aka Matt Schaub. But then he shobbed himself out of a job. Now, ironically, Hoyer's in Houston trying to be a starting quarterback. It's weird how things pop up that way. Speaking of people getting jobs, does anybody else find it weird to me that Matt Flynn and what's the other quarterback for the Bills, Ryan Fitzpatrick, always find a way to get jobs in the NFL? Y'all better step it up. Get some quarterbacks in these leagues, because if these guys can stay around and stay relevant, why can't you do it? If you got the talent, flaunt it. It's 2015. Everybody records everything. Get your video out there. Get you some exposure. Hell, I'm doing it. I've been wanting to get on here and talk about football, and people who want to listen to me for a long time just didn't do it. Tired of making excuses now. I'm just going to start doing things. And that's what it's been the past 3 years for me. Just going to start doing things. Should have always been like that. But I don't make excuses no more. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to go over? I didn't think. Well, let me set aside my personal opinions. Quarterback plays in Philadelphia didn't look extremely awful. Mark Sanchez did. Tebow completed more passes than he did. I didn't see Sam Bradford play. Now, let's talk about Sam Bradford. You're going to run this option offense, or whatever you want to call it, Chip Kelly offense, Oregon offense, whatever the hell you want to call it. This man's got a bad knee. And you know when you run an option, the quarterback can take it and run at any time, so he is not a quarterback anymore. He's considered a runner. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Ravens in the 49ers Super Bowl. What Terrell Suggs said to Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless acts like an idiot because he doesn't know what game plans are. Well, he does now. Terrell Suggs set him straight. Let me take it back. Skip Bayless isn't an idiot. He just says his opinion. Just what I'm doing. You can hit the quarterback on every play when you run that. So is that what you want Sam Bradford to be taking shots like that with a very fragile leg? I hope not. Or you traded Nick Foles away for pennies. Good luck to Nick Foles. I'll be pulling for you. You ain't with the Eagles no more. All my friends know I don't like them Eagles. Well, I think that sums it up for tonight. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about, shoot me a message or shoot me in the comment box. Send me a link and we can talk about it. It doesn't have to be always about the Bucs. There's not much going on, so I'm just pretty much rambling on what's going on in the league as of now. Oh, how could I forget that? Speaking of what's going on in the league, did y'all see the video of the Ravens and the Cowboys? What was it, Ravens and Cowboys? 1 second. Cowboys and Rams. I knew a Cowboy was in there somewhere. They've been up there for everything but positive about football. The Cowboys and Rams fight. Now, I'm interested to see what happens, because they're talking about people will be suspended if they fight now. I wonder who they're going to suspend in this one, because it looked like the whole team was fighting, and it looks like people might have gotten hurt that were spectators. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. We'll see tomorrow. See what old Donald Trump, Roger Goodell does. We'll see what happens. And side note, I hope Ray Rice gets a job, because if you let Greg Hardy get a job, he beat the woman and had firearms in his house, and then when they go to court, the woman doesn't show up. Yeah. And Ray Rice, he beat a woman too. Not undermining that at all. But he married her. I guess that's what you call thug and love or tough love. She married him. They went to therapy. They're good. They have a family. You don't have a job. Greg Hardy does, though, for the Cowboys. And he got paid a lot. That's it for me. I'm going to take my ass to bed. Thanks for listening. I'll probably be back on here Friday. Unless something crazy happens in the league and then we talk about it. Thanks for listening, y'all. Y'all have a good night.